So Matt Lauer's accuser, the woman who claims that he anally raped her at the Sochi Olympics in 2014, she was out and about right as Ronan Farrow's book detailing what she says happened to her was released to the public.
Yes, she's out and about in New York City as Ronan was making the rounds, promoting his book, which does include all the details of her story. Now, people at NBC, of course, were aware of Brooke Nevils, but when this book came out, it was the first time that her name came out, and immediately there were these photos of her.
So this is her at Nobu in New York City.
Oh, this is actually, she's on her way to Nobu. But she was there with her
what appears to be her boyfriend.
They were parting ways, a couple of kisses, and then she was off on her own. Then she got into a town car, went to Nobu. When she got out of the town car, she suddenly got all of this attention because now that her name is out there, she chose to put her name in the book and to put these allegations out there. So this is the video of her walking into Nobu and, of course, getting questions about everything she claims Matt Lauer did to her.
Hey, Brooke, how you doing? Brooke, what do you think about Matt's denial of your version of the story? What do you hope to gain from coming out now instead of 2 years ago?
She's saying no comment here, but she did respond to the open letter that he penned denying everything, and she said that this is an open case in victim blaming, and that that this is us seeing Matt Lauer that we knew for all these years, watching him on TV, be a completely different person, be a person who's actually trying to bully a colleague into being quiet. So
this has been a very interesting one because there have been battle lines drawn on this. That there are a lot of people who are saying, look, she made a claim, she went to NBC, that they believed her, and there are some people at NBC who are angry at the NBC bosses saying that they should have been more forthcoming about all of this. And then on the other side, there are people who are saying, look, Matt Lauer is saying, and she's acknowledging that after this incident in Sochi, where they both acknowledge that they had sex in his hotel room. Right. She says it was involuntary. She says she said no, and he says she was absolutely on board. They subsequently, in New York City, did have what appears to be an extramarital affair.
Right.
And so there are people who are saying, why would she do that if that had happened to her in Sochi? So the battle lines on this thing have really been drawn in a way we haven't seen.
People on her side say that
it was a transactional relationship.
Meredith Vieira saying that this was a transactional relationship.
Meaning?
I can only take that to mean that Brooke was only in this relationship with Matt because she felt that it was necessary to continue her employment. And I know what you're saying, she was not working for NBC at the time.
There are two sides to it. There are people saying on the other side that a transactional, if that is the definition of a transactional relationship, there's nothing wrong with it because both parties are in it for a particular reason. Mm-hmm. But the other part is that she didn't work for NBC Lauer or the Today Show. Apparently she was working with Meredith, who had already left the Today Show.
So Meredith Vieira, we should also note, is the one that Brooke came forward to when she decided to make the complaint to NBC, and Meredith Vieira was the one who also told her that she needed to speak to higher-ups about this. Now, you mentioned the battle lines being drawn. One notable person who has chosen a side as well is Ann Curry. She worked with Brooke, and she says that she finds her credible, and she found her to be when she knew her, a guileless, talented, or a guileless 20-year-old brimming with talent. And she finds her account credible, which she also says is sad.
Yeah, here's the reality. None of us know. I mean, we weren't there. We haven't heard evidence. So,
Matt knows, Brooke knows, and to this point, there have been no charges brought. So
I do think we should also mention. I do think we should also mention that Ronan Farrow, who is kind of an expert in dealing with and interviewing women who have been victims of sexual assault, says that he was not surprised to hear that she continued carrying on a relationship with Matt because that is often a pattern that women who are sexually assaulted continue to go back to their alleged assaulter.
I was thinking when Matt came out with his open letter, the thing I thought was interesting, I would imagine that Ronan before putting this book out, had given Matt an opportunity to respond.
Well, and in the book, he does
Right.
quote sources close to Matt, saying that that they refuted her side of it. So it's not like
But,
he's only covering one side of it.
what is interesting is,
why
like
did
you
Matt,
said,
right,
why did he
Matt
not
say that when?
Because I think he didn't know exactly what was going to come out, and when it did, I think he wanted to time it so it came out in his way as opposed to, you know.
Right. If he had given him that,
Really,
and then it's in the book.
That's right. I mean, I think he wanted to control that narrative.
Hey, you guys, it's Amber in Richmond, Virginia. So basically at this point, I'm trying to figure out, when were the police ever called? Because if you felt that you were, raped in that way, why didn't you just contact the police? Why did you wait years later and told Meredith, of all people? She's not a police officer. You should have went to the police. So my question is, and she kept the relationship going. It's funny how a lot of men are saying these are traits of a victim that has been assaulted, but why aren't any women saying how we really feel about when things like that would happen to us? Men really don't know how we really feel about that.
Okay.
This is an interesting one, and it's just an interesting. And again, the reality I think needs to be underscored is that everybody is like saying, "I believe him, I believe her." Well, you don't know,
right?
Because you weren't there.
I
mean, on either side,
right?
And it's just so interesting to me that people have on
feel
both
the
sides
need to
make conclusions when they weren't there and don't know the nuances or don't know the facts, but people are staking their claim on both sides, which is just a weird way of...
It's not weird, it's just the world we live in now.
Yeah.